record. Okay, so welcome to the extended week ahead for the week of the 11th to the 17th of September, 2023. Now, this week we have the Virgo new moon being ruled by a close to stationary Mercury. So this week we have Mercury crawling along. It goes direct at 8 degrees and maybe 8 seconds or something like that. So we're nearly there. So this week we are all up in our heads, guys. So that was the Virgo new moon on Friday. And also on Saturday morning, we have Mercury going direct. All right. So we are at 6:30 on Monday night. And, we had a quite pleasant day where we were, we woke up with a little bit of optimism. That moon in Leo feels nice. The conjunction to Venus is 5:30 tomorrow morning. So we're still going to have these confident Virgo vibes around. Now, as the moon, all right, looks like I'm just going into Tuesday. There we go. All right. So when we wake up on Tuesday, because Monday's nearly done, we've got the moon coming up to conjunct this Lilith. And, I've been loving talking about Lilith. So we've got Mercury now at 8 degrees, at its station degree. So, with the Venus retrograde and Venus coming into her power, having a look at her life and seeing all the things that, have turned her off and on in life, and choosing to take back her power and put on her crown nice and straight. And even if, we're still not 100% confident with our decisions, but our decisions have been made. All right. So now tomorrow morning when we wake up, we have that moon Venus, which is awesome, but then we're coming up to moon Lilith. So what are the things that you would either normally not say? Oh, actually, sorry, that is for one day ahead. Let me go back to the morning. Sorry about that. Mercury is doing a number on me big time. All right, so we've still got that moon Lilith, so I'll just talk about it from the beginning of the day. All right, so what are the things you would normally leave unsaid? What are the situations where you would normally stay quiet? Where you would not regard your input as valuable? We've got Leo, this is us up on stage. This is us, being confident to speak our words and know that they are worthy as well. Or this is how I am, I've been learning more about Lilith, and I'm doing a webinar on Sunday about her. So I'm really excited about that. But, we've also got that, look at that. We've got the moon square Jupiter there, all right? So on Sunday, we're coming up to the third and final hit of Venus square Jupiter. So, in addition to maybe not saying, or in addition to saying what you normally wouldn't say, maybe you're going to have a situation where you're going to be able to say no when normally you would have said yes, or, something like that, some sort of situation where, you might be out of your comfort zone. It's a definite square. We've had 3 of them. When I talk about what Venus is doing later on, I've got the exact dates, but it's sort of like, mid-June, the beginning of August, and then mid-September. So, we've had this lesson a couple of times now, and on the third hit, like I said, we're a little bit more confident. We're gaining clarity by the amount of, this could be the thing that, our thoughts are stuck in a groove with Mercury not moving. We could have that broken record just going round and round and round. And if we're stuck on this one particular thought, then, maybe that's the one where you're like, you know what? I'm going to say the thing, or I'm not going to do the thing. Or, there could be that decision where out of bravery, you take a different course of action to one that you would normally do. Now, for the words I've written that, looking back at how we once did things, allows us to choose how we are going to address situations differently. And that's pretty much exactly what I've just sort of summarized is, how are we going to look at our past history and experience and choose to do a different thing. So this is, this is that practice that I've been talking about. I'm building confidence in learning to it's not like you're being asked to go climb Mount Kilimanjaro. It's just like, say the word, say no, stretch yourself just that little bit further. All right. So another one, choosing to share responsibilities when normally you would take the burden upon yourself, like in entirety. So that's another one that I just feel like there's this, we're just, like I said, we're stretching our wings, we're getting at our comfort zones, and we're putting ourselves in a better position because we know our worth. All right. So let's move forward to Wednesday. Now Wednesday morning we have the moon in Leo up until 3:18 p.m. So we actually are going to be starting to get stuck in our head from Wednesday. All right. So in the morning we've got the moon opposing Saturn. All right. So where are we here? Moon. All right, so yeah, moon opposition Saturn. Until 3 o'clock, it's out of orb, but it's still in opposition. So we could be feeling the weight of responsibility. And here we are. Saturn is in Pisces. It's residing in our subconscious. So, maybe we could be feeling fearful of being out in front of the crowd. Maybe those old stories we tell ourselves about our lack of self-worth are starting to come up. There's, just a weighty feeling. So, and the moon is also in conjunct Neptune and Pluto. So here's some delusions and some crisis or some trauma. So in the morning, we're going to be feeling, well, this is again for Wednesday. We could just be getting frustrated or starting to feel anxiety, or just, we can have those feelings rising. In the words I've wrote, calm the fuck down, but it's more like this week, we really need to be paying attention to where our head is and what we're thinking. And are we allowing ourselves to corkscrew? That's another one, especially if we're not feeling the greatest. Even with the Virgo new moon coming, matters of health are in the air. Like I'm not feeling the greatest, and I usually always feel awesome. I know a few people have had, illnesses that have been sticking around. It's Virgo month. The sun is going to highlight our healthcare, our self-care. So, coming up to this new moon and this anxiety rising, the burden of responsibility could be another one that you're starting to feel. So and the sun is starting to come into an opposition to Neptune, so things are getting hazy as well. There's a, what day is it? Can I trust my thoughts type of happening. So just again, heads up for this week, don't allow yourself to delusions to run away. The opposition to Neptune could have us feeling that escapist tendency wanting to come on. So what do? We're like, no, I can do this. I am the queen. I've got this, and we're just coaching ourselves back into a more conscious state rather than allowing, ourselves to drift away with, to run away with ourselves. All right. So let me move forward to Thursday. All right. Now, this is the one I was talking about this morning, where I would love you to go and listen to Bjork's It's Oh So Quiet, because it's one of those days. We're going to have moments of calm where we're, so this is Thursday. And as you can see, we've got the moon Mercury in the morning. We could be letting our feelings and our emotions run away with ourselves. That over analysis, the critical thinking, or there's just a lot of like I said, we can have moments of calm, and then all of a sudden the trumpets start blaring. And if ADHD is something that you are aware of, then just how quickly does that shit flip? So really pay attention today. Mercury is stationed at 8 degrees, all right, and conjunct the moon. So here's that, if we are stuck in a loop, remember, bang the side of the record player. Pay attention to what you're hyper focused on. It's honestly one of these weeks where you're like, bring yourself back to a calm and nice place where you're not beating yourself up, or that inner critic is loud and you're like, oh my God, it's gonna, it could be too heavy for you to deal with. So let's not do that. All right. Let's move forward, and I'll go to the actual time, which is 11:37 on Friday. All right. Now, 11:25 will do. All right. Now, with Mercury station and the new moon, this is a new moon that is not going to manifest your desires very fast. All right. I would say that this would be an awesome one to get a longer term manifesting list. So 24th of February 2024, 2024 is going to be the Virgo full moon. All right. So that's the opposing lunation to this. So it would be a great one to do 6-month manifestations, because I just feel like the micro focus on the 1 month, I think you could get more bang for your buck out of focusing on a 6-month one. All right, because the ruling planet Mercury, it might go direct on Saturday morning, 6:20 a.m., but it doesn't actually really start doing anything till probably Tuesday. So okay, let me find this. Okay, so this is the transits and the aspects. So we've got Sun conjunct Moon, obviously. We've got a separating trine to Jupiter. So it's not like the luck has passed, but we've had the awareness. All right. So now we're writing down the details, remembering. If we didn't write down our brilliant ideas, then we're trying to remember what they were. Who was I spoken to the other day? Desi, maybe. And I was just like, oh my God, if you remember any of the brilliant insights I had, can you let me know? Because by the time I'd come back from my walk, I had totally forgotten. And it's that type of thing. All right. So we do have the trine to Uranus, which is quite tight there, which is beautiful. So we do have innovation and new ideas, but then we've got the opposition to Neptune. So we're just sort of like a bit foggy, a little bit laggy, a little bit things aren't clear. And this is just playing into that Mercury retrograde. It's not going to be one where things are done fast, but there is that awesome trine to Pluto. So, we can have clarity come up from the depths if we do pay attention. This is a good one where we need to be like Mercury and just sit in it, just be stationary and slow and quiet, and allow Neptune to impart on us spiritual wisdom, allow Pluto to bring stuff up. The healthcare aspect of this is good if we can just focus on our well-being. But it is a very quiet, slow, let's just stop and ruminate on this one. All right. So and that was pretty much all I had to say for that one. Oh, and Mercury, which is ruling the new moon, is opposing Saturn. So again, another long-term effort, reward type of energy. So hence, go for the 6-month goals on this one rather than the immediate 1-month ones. Okay. All right. So let's go forward to tomorrow morning. Oh, sorry, Saturday morning. All right. So Saturday morning, yay, Mercury's direct, but still slow. Hasn't woken up, needs to have a cup of coffee. Now I work for this one. I think that conversations need to be had. All right. So we've got Mercury Lilith hanging there. Lilith has come over to have a chat with Mercury while he's a little bit foggy and just got out of bed type thing. She's whispering in his ear. Venus is very much aware of what she's doing. She's starting to move. She is off that 12 degrees now. As you can see, she's at 14, and the moon is in Libra, which is her sign. So she's got a clue this time. So she is going to grow, that conjunction is going to grow all day up until Sunday morning to the conjunction to Mars. Mars is in her sign. So I like this one because we are sussing out our relationships. And what is that trine? Oh, okay. So we've got the Sun Uranus trine. When is that? That's at 11 a.m. on Saturday morning. Okay, so we've got Mercury direct, Lilith talking to Mercury, the Sun and Uranus having a chat about what the potentials and possibilities are. The moon is like, how am I feeling? I've got to balance this up. There's bravery growing because of the growing conjunction to Mars. Mars is willing to negotiate because it's in Venus's sign and Venus is powerful. So Saturday morning, what did I write? We're going to wake up feeling different. And I'm not talking massive groundbreaking movement, but you will be able to look forward and see the potential unfolding before you. Don't make any concrete plans yet. All right. So this is a very important one. The shifts and changes will happen. Again, not the greatest of the short-term initiating things. There's still things to be changed and moved around yet. It's like I've been talking about strategy and planning ahead for a couple of moves. We don't quite know what's unfolding yet, so just hang in there with this one. All right, and let's go forward to Sunday. Now, Sunday, I wrote there could be some feisty feelings around in the morning. And when I was doing the words for the week, we've got Venus is going to start her sextile with Mars on Sunday. All right. So, ooh, nice. They don't actually get to conjunction though. So they get to within 1 degree of each other. So if you remember at the beginning of Venus's retrograde, her and Mars came to like a couple of degrees and then they started moving away again. So now they're in a sextile with each other and they're probably getting a little bit excited by each other, but they still don't get into conjunction until February of next year. So, there are still words that need to be spoken. And maybe the joining of Venus and Mars might get some good feelings in the air that they can have honest conversations, but it's so depending on how this Moon Mars plays out for you. It could be some very astute words about what needs to happen now in order for balance to be achieved and old hurts to be let go of. Okay, so we've got the moon coming up to South Node, so it could play out a few different ways. So I hope that yours is full of sexy time and not words that are harsh and bluntly honest, because honesty hasn't been achieved in small doses. Sometimes a big dose of blunt is what people need to shake themselves out of reality. How does it go for you Sunday? Totally up to you, but you've got the heads up. So this has been my my expanded look at the week ahead. And I will stop the recording. Okay, there we go. Okay. Getting it together. All right, guys, as usual, all of the stuff is in your course modules. So what is Venus doing this week? Oh, okay. All right. So As I was saying in the extended week ahead, we start off the week with the moon in Leo, to her growing conjunction. So that's nice. She is given a little bit of credit. We get to, stand up and remember that we're feeling good about things now. We've been through all this stuff. All right, so that is exact 5:30 on Tuesday morning. And I feel like this will allow her to emotionally connect to all the lessons of the last few weeks and give her some confidence to reign as she sees fit. All right. So again, guys, if it's not natural for you to take this power stance or to have the power, just ease into it. And just remember that if you are in a situation that you feel like is confronting, what's one little thing you can say? It doesn't have to be massive, guys. We are easing in. These are lifelong lessons that you are challenging and changing. All right. I've said it often enough that this transit is a replica of the 8 years previous and the 8 years previous. You don't want your next 8-year transit to be the same lessons. You want to level up, you want to evolve, you want to move through these things and not just keep, having the same thing happen to you every 8 years. All right. Now, as I was saying, on Tuesday morning, Venus is going to start her sextile to Mars. So Mars is in Libra, which is Venus's sign, and Venus is in Leo, which Mars likes Leo. So, there's a mutually beneficial type of experience happening. So it's likely to start a bit of the passion back into the pair, but they still don't meet in a conjunction yet. And on the 27th, they start to move away from each other. So Tuesday is the 12th. So they're only like growing together closely for 2 weeks. So if you need to glean favors from Mars, and I'm absolutely not saying any inappropriate favors, I'm just saying, you can use this Venus sextile Mars energy and the excitement and the passion that it brings to, maybe you need to learn something or have a conversation just to harness that excitement and the passion, so I don't know, maybe you want to fall in love with exercise because Mars is exercise. Maybe you want to, show your work or yourself off in a good light. Maybe you can just harness into that energy and just connect to that. Okay, and like I was saying, they don't conjunct until 22nd of February next year. Next February is off the scales, guys. Absolutely so much energy in next year's February. It's crazy. All right. So the next aspect we look at is exact on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Actually, that was one of the reasons why I was saying Sunday was going to be fun, because we have that Moon Mars in the morning, we have Venus sextile Mars, and then in the evening we have this Venus square Jupiter. So this is going to be the chance that you guys get to acknowledge that you have received, or you've learned the lesson, you've seen what the you've seen what the issue is over. So when was it? The 12th of June, 22nd of August, and then the final one on the 17th. All right. So, what was it? What was Jupiter in Taurus for you? Was it saying no to a too full social calendar? Was it, amending your diet or reducing your intake of something? Because, Jupiter's over the top and Taurus is quite indulgent. So we're looking at food, alcohol, luxury items, spending money. There's a whole gamut of things that it could have been. But this 17th, it's the one where you're like, no, I can see what's coming and I'm going to stop this now. So good luck with that one. And it's not the final. It's never the final. We're practicing. We're moving towards choosing different options. Okay. All right. So when the moon in Libra starts a conjunction with Mars, it's also sextile Venus. Okay. And that was what I was talking about, the Sunday morning sass. I don't know. Anyway. So I hope this is showing you that doing what is best for you can bring you just as much joy as when you are unable to put the boundaries up in the first place. Okay, what have you learned and what have you amended or said no thank you to? Okay, so you know, my Taurus is in the second house of self-worth and finances. I definitely believe that through, mine's the sixth house to the second house. So I definitely believe by working on myself with my own self-care and a different attitude towards myself, it has increased my self-worth. All right. So which houses are you connecting to? So it's if you need to figure out again which ones these are in, please just reach out to me. And as she is still also making her growing trine to Chiron. All right, so that is exact on the 23rd. So that's the following Saturday, I believe. Yeah, the following Saturday, Venus is growing into this third trine to Chiron. So she's still, she is still acknowledging the hurts. She is still growing through the pain. She's, she is comforting herself and self-soothing herself in new ways. The Sun trine Uranus is giving us new opportunities and new things to consider. So, that general just giving yourself a hug where it's needed is also, because Chiron in Aries is all about being the best individual that you can be. So Venus in Leo with her crown on straight, dressed in her beautiful robes, is going, I can be the best individual that I want to be. So, there's a lot of beautiful things happening. And yeah, so next week we'll talk about this final trine to Chiron. So yeah. All right, I will stop my share and press. Okay. All right, so markers complete. Yay. Oh, now it's going to take ages. Woohoo. Are you serious? Oh, all right. Resume. Okay. All right. Next unit. This is so much fun. Okay, things to ponder. Now this week, guys, my things to ponder are very open. It wasn't so much about coaching questions I could ask you. It's just more of a, like I said, it's an acknowledgement. In the beginning of this, I was like, man, we're going to be up in our heads. We're going to be, maybe doubting ourselves. We could be like totally confident, but we could be a little bit discombobulated as well. So, a lot of realizations have been made over these last 13 weeks, like huge. All right. Now, Mercury is slow at the moment. We're not going to rush ahead. If you have if you have anything in your chart that makes you impatient, then you might be feeling impatient and you're like, I just want to get this over and done with. Well, Mercury is saying no. You need to analyze and try and figure this out. Well, let's get to the bottom of the problem. All right. So you could actually really utilize this record player aspect, stuck in the groove, the universe does not give us what we cannot handle. So there could be some gold in the lining if you are, like I said, just pay attention to what your thoughts are doing. All right. So Mercury is slow and over analyzing everything. All right. So, if you need to write it out for clarity, remember that new moon has got a trine to Pluto. So that is going to also be growing over the coming days. There is going to be stuff coming up. All right. So write it out, speak it out, sing it out, whatever. The energy needs to come out of your body. It's going to be the easiest way for you to work with it. So, Mercury is writing as well. So try that. Okay. Now, I just said that depending on your temperament, you could be frustrated or are still a bit unsure. But, by next week, things will be moving in the right direction. From now, get clear on you want in a broad scope. All right. So this is going back to that. I believe that the manifesting you're doing on Friday around lunchtime is going to be better for a 6-month plan. All right. Because like I said, they're still adjusting and there could be possible changes. But I just think, having this 6-month window is going to be a lot more helpful. The one you underestimate what you can do in a year and overestimate what you can do in a day. Well, let's split it down the middle. Let's have a look at what we think we can achieve by February next year, remembering that there's going to be so much energy around in February, and it's 6 months. That's what's that? 6 4s are 24 weeks. That's a lot. So that's two. That's a solstice and an equinox. There is a lot that we can achieve in this time, and with we still want our focus to be on serving ourselves. Okay, what's best for ourselves. We want it to be about us being authentic, speaking our truth, healing. There's that Chiron stuff. We've all got work to do. It's just us about being brave and being clear on what we want eventually. Okay. So that is it for things to ponder this week. I would like you to ponder the next 6 months. Okay, so how far you've come in the last 13 weeks. What can your future look like now with this new learning and the new opportunities that you are willing to give yourself, with the credit that you need to give yourself for all the hard work that you deserve? And the support, give yourself the support that you may once have sought elsewhere. All right, you are the queen. And what was I saying? Was it about today? Act as if the world does actually revolve around you and see what happens. Actually, that's for Tuesday morning, but the sentiment is the same. Act as if the world actually does revolve around you. Can't hurt. Okay. Stop share and stop recording. Thank you.